Alright, what is going on, my dudes? We're back here today with the first week of the Autumn of Agony, my top 10 list. Now, we got M'Baku here from Black Panther in the MCU, who happens to be the leader of the Jabari, because Jabari Panther is an MCOC original, so there's no Marvel Legends figure of her. So anyway, the objectives for this week were X-Force Medium plus Control Denial, and Small plus Mystic plus Saga. Now, friendly reminder, alright, you have to have all selected tags clicked on, not any selected tags. This happens every single week. Someone's like, hey, I did it with X, Y, and Z. How come I didn't get it? It's because you have to have all of them, okay? So if you hit any, every different one is going to pop up, all right? So, Jabari, this fight is pretty interesting, man. There's not too much going on, but it really makes you respect her defensive kit. So, when you use a special attack, you're going to be placing 2 debuffs on her. If this happens when her cleanse is active, right, she's going to have a damage reflect passive for about 8 seconds, where you can't really hit her much, okay? She also gains a cleanse passive every, I forget how long it was it every 15 seconds or something like that, and you can refresh that timer with a light ending combo, so you want to consistently have those light enders going on, okay? Now, there's also the Falter passive that goes on you every like 12 seconds or so, and if you're far away from her, she gains the Falter instead. Now, when you gain the Falter and she misses you, she's going to ramp her hunt charges, okay? And when she goes into the hunt, then she can't miss, and then you can't like dex her special 1, so keep that in mind, okay? So, that being said, let's jump into the top 10 today, and I will tell you who I use and who I had success with. Alright, number 10, we're throwing in Sigil Witch here. Now, I find the Small plus Mystic plus Saga objective to definitely be the toughest of the bunch. I would say X-Force and the other one have some very clear answers that make her, I don't want to say easy, but I would say that interact with this fight very, very well. All right, let me move this down a little bit. There we go. Okay. So, with Sigil Witch, of course, you probably want to build up to that special 3. You want to parry her special 1 consistently, okay, because that's how you're going to gain all your charges and whatnot. You can use your special 1 a few times. Your typical Sigil Witch rotation is what you want to do, but you want to build up to that special 3 for the D-Gen, right? I would imagine it would probably take 2 of those big special 3s in order to take her down. Not too bad. There's also the Staggering Beauty on the node, which can definitely help keep you topped up a little bit, okay, because there is no heal block on this fight, which is nice. One more thing I forgot to mention is that when she hits your block, she's going to regenerate, so you do have to watch out for that as well. You don't want to take too many blocked hits. All right, moving on to number 9. Number 9, we have the Enchantress. Now, I didn't get to try Enchantress myself. I only have a 6-star at rank 3, but Enchantress is really solid for those longer fights. Once she's fully ramped up after all those special 1s, her special 2 is going to be hitting really, really hard, and for only 1 million health on the opponent, right, once she's ramped, she's going to be able to nuke her very, very easily with that special 2. Just make sure you don't use it when the damage reflect is up, or else let me tell you, you're going to be dead from that 1 special 2, because it'll definitely do above like 60,000 damage on Jabari, and that's going to be reflected right back at you, which is not going to be super duper fun, let me tell you that. All right, moving on, we have Professor X, man, especially if you toss on like a mutant boost. I didn't try this myself, but I can only imagine he's going to absolutely slay the fight. Go for the special 3. You might be able to just chain it, right? Or the special 2s as well, but the mutant boost is absolutely going to go a long way here. It's going to help you a lot. Professor X is a very, very solid champion. Great for fights like these, and there's not too much that's going to be stopping him. You do have to be careful, though, using that Falter, because, again, if she's in the hunt, she will not be able to miss, okay? Moving on. Number 7, we have OG Storm. Now, OG Storm is an interesting one, okay, because you can't really parry heavy her, so you're gonna have to like bait out the special 1, stay really close, counter with the heavy attack to refresh those prowesses, just build up to a special 2 or even a special 1, and just spam that a few times, right? And you're going to be doing a chunky amount of damage each time you do that. Also, if you happen to get clipped and to get the bleed on you, you're going to gain more prowesses. I don't recommend you do that, but hey, it is something that can happen, all right? So OG Storm definitely has the damage to take this guy down, this girl down, and she's going to do a pretty darn good job, especially if you have a 7-star. So these 4 that I just did are not my favorite options for the fight. Moving forward, the final 6 is what I would recommend, and the three that I use are in here and whatnot. So number 6, we have Future Ant-Man. I didn't use Future Ant-Man myself, but a bunch of people in my chat during the stream were saying that he's very solid for the fight. Future Ant-Man, of course, has great power control, right? You can just kind of stay aggressive. You can be using those light ending combos all you want against Jabari, right? Keep using that special 1, using that special 2. Keep her power under control. Don't really have to worry about too much. Just got to keep the Falter in mind and you should be good to go. Future Ant, a very, very underrated attacker somehow because he's always put on defense, right? But he's really good. He's really, really good for this kind of stuff because his power control is very, very solid, and that special 2 hits really, really hard, especially when he has those disintegrations up on the opponent and you have the power detonation ready. That special 2 burst is incredible. All right, number 5, we have my boy Baron Zemo. That's who I used for this fight for the medium and control and denial, and he can absolutely solo this fight rather easily. I got it done pretty much on the first try. Well, I died at like 3% health left because she was in the hunt when I had the Falter, and then I was like, oh, I'll just let the special 2 go through me. Dead. So yeah, don't do that. But yeah, the staggering beauty is great here because you could ramp yourself up normally into the root and then just spam the special 1, and he's going to have a really good time stacking on those bleeds, and he was great for the fight. Moving on for number 4, we have Prowler. This is who a lot of people used. A lot of people used for that second objective. Prowler, very, very solid champion, of course, right? That special 2 hits like crazy. He doesn't really have any debuffs aside from the 1 Incinerate. So that's one thing. You don't have to worry too much about inflicting debuffs on her when you're using him. Just got to make sure there's no cleanse on her when you have when you're about to use that special 2. Okay, of course, you know, bait the specials, build up your charges, your Prowler charges, I forget what they're called, and convert them into the 30 Furies with the special 2, preferably when there is an Incinerate on her and she is also faltered, and you're gonna have a pretty darn good time. All right, moving on to number 3, we have Kushala, is who I used for the Small and Mystic and Saga. She was very solid for this fight. Just want to keep doing those light ending combos. You want to parry her special 1, and then you want to counter her special 1 with a heavy attack. And because you can't really parry heavy in this fight because you're going to give the damage reflect, and you don't want the damage reflect. So if you do this, and you consistently use that special 1, convert the what are they called, ignition buffs into incinerates, you're gonna have a good time against this fight because the light ending combos are gonna keep the cleanse off. The full 5-hit combo into the light ender is going to outlast her cleanse from if you're like baiting a heavy attack or whatnot. And yeah, Kushala, very darn solid. It takes a few times to get the rhythm right, but once you got it down, she's pretty solid for the fight. Okay, moving on to number 2, Dani Moonstar. That's who I used for this fight. I really liked her for it. She was very, very, very solid for the fight. I was just kind of cycling special 1 and special 2. Her personal like Falter is very, very good for this fight. The Neuroshock is incredibly good for this fight because you won't miss when you have the Falter on you. So you don't have to worry too much about that node. I took like 2 or 3 special 2s and she went down pretty darn easily. I think it's the first 2 special 2s without the special 1 energy vulnerability, and then the last one I had it and she just completely melted, and we are very healthy at the end of the fight. So yeah, Dani Moonstar is my personal favorite, but number 1, it's kind of hard to argue with Domino. Suida put out a video just completely dismantling this fight with Domino within the first like 5 minutes of the fight being alive. It took like 2 minutes. Domino doing Domino things. Go check out the video if you want to see a reference. You can check out my stream if you want to see Dani Moonstar, Kushala, or Baron Zemo for this fight. And yeah, not too bad of a fight as long as you just understand the mechanics and know how to play into it. Watch out for those debuffs when she has the cleanse charges active. Overall, pretty darn fun fight. And of course, as always, remember, please remember, there's never any pressure to solo this fight. Items exist for a reason. I revived a few times. It's not a problem at all. Don't feel pressure to solo these fights. They're hard fights for a reason, man. All right, that's gonna be it for this one. Let me know what you think about this Jabari Panther fight in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next one coming in about 2 weeks, and I'll be seeing you around, man.